when I was prepping for this session, Hussein, I got the opportunity to speak to your team. And of course, I'd done research and I'd looked at what an amazing developer DAMAC is. But when I spoke to your team, what they spoke about were data lakes and analysis and technology, and really a transformational exercise that your organization is going through with respect to data. And I would love it if you would share with the audience what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, technology, no question. I'm not going to repeat what the gentleman said and changing the world. But I have a little different views on the property market. It is, yes, impacting property market and property companies tremendously, especially in the back of the house, especially on customer acquisition in relation with the customers. So like we've been going very digital. I remember 4 years ago, we used to spend our budget entirely on the newspaper and TV. You know, last year, newspaper got less than 1%. By force, the management forced me to spend few $100,000 or dirhams in Saudi Arabia, they said the press. Mm-hmm. But literally less than 1% we spend on the press in the entire world. Mm-hmm. 90% of the money went to digital. And we hired one of the leading world's companies called Artifact to help us in that journey migration. On the customer relation, we're moving very fast, and we're adopting a lot of new technology where hopefully in a year from today, our customers don't need to come to our office after he bought from us. Mm-hmm. He can interact on the technology platform and do all the dealings. On the customer acquisition, on sales, there is a tremendous amount of application of technology. Most importantly, the data. We created a department for data and how to know who is our customer. And you know, our customer interact with us. We are one of the business model where the customer interact with us over 4 to 5 years. Typically, a customer interact with you in the retail and other areas in a very short time, small ticket item, and you don't see him often. But in property, and I can think in cars, when you buy a car, you also interact with the dealer over 3-4 years. And same thing with us. As a matter of fact, some of our customers interact with us over 15 years. So people who bought from us an apartment, and they live in the apartment, and we service the apartment. But there is one dimension which I like to highlight on the property side. A lot of companies going to go through disruption, and the risk is very high. So you are in retail, and I've seen in the last number of years, retailers going bankrupt like a domino. You know, you just see company after company going into bankruptcy because they cannot keep with the Amazon and the e-commerce. Where is not the risk and the case in the property? Still you have a hard asset and location and right quality of buildings. Really protect the buyer and protect the developer if he does a good job. No question, applying technology, improve your sale, improve your contact and relation with your customer, and so forth, makes your life easier in the back of the house, but still the asset is important.
Right.
And if you have the right location, the right product, that's 50% of the story, if not more.
Good. So a lot of themes that we're going to come back to. So we're going to talk about globalization, disruption, product, operations, data, and data is where I'm going to start, if that's okay. So I want to talk about residential property and ways. Why is it lagging, Hussein? Why is residential property lagging in terms of how we incorporate technology into it? And what is DAMAC doing to make homes smart or to think about the world, the Internet of Things? How will residential properties change over time?
You know, as Jonathan said, the property industry overall have been lagging behind in technology. And I think one of the reasons is that you look globally, there are very few large property companies. I'll give you an example. I've been in New York, met a number of developers. Apart from maybe 2 or 3 big developers like Related, some of the biggest names, they do one building every 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, so the volume is not there for them to invest heavily in technology. You know, you look at London. there is one big company called Berkeley Homes in the property. Then you have a lot of fragmented small companies in the residential, I'm talking field, okay? And if somebody is doing 300, 500 apartments a year, he can't afford. Technology is not cheap, as you appreciate. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason, I still think, I mean, I'm staying today in a hotel next door, checked in last night. It's very high technology, rooms. But I was struggling to operate that. Right. You put a gadget and light goes on here and goes off there, and so it is not yet friendly usable. I mean, so also it's a matter of cost. We're doing a tower in London, and we're applying maximum technology because we're selling a square feet around 1,600 pounds, the residential. Now that's about 8,000 dirham, okay? While in Dubai today, you sell at between 900 to 1,500, the maximum. You can't put technology in an apartment where it's costing you, compared to London, 300 pounds. Right. What you can afford in 300 pounds or $400, okay? So cost is a factor also in that. But you see more technology, I see in a gateway cities, London, New York, Toronto. We're doing a project in Toronto. It's, you see more application of, because you're selling at $1,600, $1,500, $1,200, you can afford that.
What about privacy? What about privacy as an issue? The more data we collect, the more data we use. One of the reasons I think the home has been slow is the idea of privacy. Do you guys think about privacy in your business, privacy as policy? You each come from different countries, which I think have very different views on privacy of individuals and privacy of data.
Question for me? I mean, indeed, it's a major topic. It's a major issue globally. Today, consumers, there's no privacy for them. I mean, I walk into Dubai Mall, and I was told immediately, your picture, what you're wearing, what type of watch you're wearing, everything will be, especially you switch into Wi-Fi. I never switch into Wi-Fi. I have my data. I pay Etisalat 800 dirhams and I get it done. But of course, not everybody can afford that. My kids immediately switch to Wi-Fi when they are in the mall, and all the data has gone to the main company, whoever owns it. I think in Europe, in America, more and more regulations are coming. In our part of the world, regulation is still behind, but we as big companies have to be more conscious on ethics and protect our customers' data. I mean, I've been, surprised pleasantly when we hired the consultant to look at our data and, how much data we have with our customers and how we can monetize the data. Right. It's amazing. It's amazing, how much data and how much you can monetize the data. Now, I think it's only fair that we take the data and monetize it to the interest of our company and our customer. But it's wrong to sell it to third party, which is happening a lot in the third world. They sell the data to the third party, which is a disaster.
Indeed. So this morning I woke up at the Rosewood Hotel, and there's Cavalli products all over the place, Hussein. So tell me about why you decided to invest in luxury itself, not just the real estate, but also the product and the brand.
Very good question. Difficult question. I'm a major shareholder in DAMAC Properties, and I have my own company called DICO. And DICO has been about 30 years old company. And for other people who don't know DICO, it's not a company which makes a lot of noise and publicize and advertise. We own a manufacturing plant in Oman. We owned at the time, 20 years ago, we bought an insurance company, we sold it. And we bought a college in Oman and we sold it. And we own a catering company. So it's a very diversified investment group. And opportunity came where Cavalli as a company was in financial difficulty. Mm-hmm. And I knew the CEO, and we took that opportunity. I'll be honest, we have not done detailed homework on it, but it was very entrepreneurial. An opportunity came, and we saw a very old, it's a 50 years old brand. This year is finished, they're celebrating 50 years. So a brand which is 50 years old, it's global. You ask anybody around the world, they know Cavalli, but it's been damaged in the last 3 years both by a private equity firm, and they did not invest money in it or time. So the brand had some difficulties, and it was a great opportunity for us to buy that and turn it around. And there's a lot of work on it, but I think if we can turn it around, it will bring Cavalli where it was in 2007 and 8 at its peak. It was one of the best brands globally and was competing with, I wouldn't say to the level of Versace and Dolce & Gabbana and Gucci was in that standard.
It's just
By the way,
interesting.
just a gossip point, which is funny. The world is small, which he knows. We went to lunch talking about it yesterday. My group was the stalking horse that spent the millions of dollars and actually signed the contract to buy Cavalli when he heard about it 4 days beforehand, came riding in and outbid us to actually take it. So it's funny how small the world is.
Yeah, it is coincidence.
Back.
I went to Milan just for holiday with the kids last April. It was Easter. So my kids said, where are we going to go? So we're going to go to Milan 3 days, Paris 3 days. I landed in Milan. The Cavalli CEO, I know him because we done some branding with him. And I had a coffee with him. And he literally told me, we sold the company. I said, you sold it to whom? It's an American company. I can't tell you. How much price? He gave me an indication. So it looks very attractive. I said, can we have a room? He says, no, 6 months, we done the deal, agreement almost final stage, money in the escrow sitting. It was Friday, he said, we're closing on Wednesday. I was very persistent, and I sent my CFO, and the lawyers and banker told us, you have 0 chances, but you can put a bid. And sometimes it's luck.
I think that's a wonderful wrap-up. And thank you very much for your time today. I hope that the audience enjoyed what you had to say. Certainly I did. Thank you.
Thank you.